This segment of DelmarvaLife is brought to you by For All Seasons Behavioral Health and Rape Crisis Center.
Got a question for you. What if you could choose your family? You may have asked yourself that already whenever the holidays come around, because relatives can sometimes be a little more difficult than you like. And of course, you have heard the phrase, you can pick your friends, you can pick your nose, but you can't pick your family. What if we told you that's not necessarily true? Here to explain that concept of a chosen family and how you can build and strengthen those connections, this is CEO and President for All Seasons, Beth and Dorman. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. It's good to have you.
Thank you.
So let me ask you, I've never heard of this before. What is a chosen family?
So, we recognize that sometimes the ideal family structure doesn't happen for many people. And so what we're really trying to lean into right now is to help people center on connection. And maybe it's not the ideal family situation that you are finding yourself in. And there's not a barrier that means that can never happen. So maybe it's the neighbors next door who have started to step in and sort of, it takes a village. Right. Maybe your village needs to be expanded. And there are times where we realize that our connections may be stronger with friends and community members, and your family is there. And we're not saying replace your family by any means, but you may find something that you need from someone else who might not be in that family lineage.
So obviously you see this as an important concept. Why?
Well, think about divorced families. Think about families who have lost parents or siblings. There may be a need and there may be a gap that needs to be filled. And if we close ourselves off to the thought that the only people that we can receive comfort and love and connection with are within that nucleus of a family, then we really cut ourselves off to expanding the great love and support that can be provided through community. So if you think about step parents who are coming in and starting to raise children and form relationships with them, they're not blood family, but they are now family.
But they're family.
And so if you think about the aunts and the uncles and the grandparents that are raising young children now because something has happened to the parent, that's family. And sometimes it's not blood family. Right. It's not, it's an aunt or uncle that maybe is by name, but not by blood. And so we really want to call attention to the fact that families look different these days. And we want everyone to understand that there's no judgment if the family looks a little bit different. So we need to be thinking in ways that just because there's not a blood connection, we have plenty of adopted kids in the community. Right. There are many people who step in to serve as family.
So you can have a chosen family and a bloodline family.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think, if you and I even just think about our own circles, the family that we have, and then the people, my sons have more aunts and uncles than they have more aunts and uncles that are not blood related than they do aunts and uncles, just purely because I'm one of three. But they have 5 or 6 sets of aunts and uncles who play a really critical role. They're role models, they mentor, they challenge my children differently, they share experiences, they take them on adventures, and they're simply a holding place. As a working mom, I need extra people to help sometimes. Right. And so that family shows up and is there, and my children know that they have lots of folks they can go to. And so as we've been talking at the agency about the difference in the way that our community is showing up, there may be times where family's not available. And so being able to say, I need help in this area, my child might need something different, you have a specialty or you can provide a mentorship. We want to create a larger conversation about how a village and a community can really help to raise children.
So when you sit down to think about your chosen family, those are the kinds of things that you want to keep in mind when you choose your family.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Wow.
There's something so powerful about that. And again, it doesn't take away from our incredible family connection. Family will always be family. But you started the segment talking about the holidays. Sometimes family can be really stressful. And so there's ways that we can be pulling the good pieces. I always say that life is like a jigsaw puzzle. If we only needed one person, we wouldn't have multiples. And so if you think about that jigsaw puzzle, that each person fills a piece, when that puzzle becomes all together, then you know that you've got the ideal situation. And so that may mean that you have to look outside the folks that are serving in your immediate household.
Okay, so let's talk more about that puzzle. When you start choosing the pieces to your puzzle, should you keep it to a small number of pieces, or is a large number of pieces okay?
So as introverts and extroverts, it may require you to think that through for yourself. My circle is huge. I love having lots of people. My husband's circle is very small, and so it's really about what fills the need for you individually, and it might be different for your children, or it might be different for your parents. You know, there's lots of aging parents in the community where we may need other folks to help and step in. Maybe you're going to need more people in a certain area because there's something that's happening within the family.
Right.
And then maybe you pull back when that time has moved on, and there might be different people that you pull in for different situations.
What a great conversation to start.
Yeah, it's just, you know, it's a different way of looking at it, but we all know that we are born for connection, and sometimes when we look outside of the sphere of what we're given, we can find ourselves in a more whole space.
Beth Dorman, she is the CEO of For All Seasons. Thank you so much for talking to us today.
Thank you.